Hydroboration oxidation of alkene. When alkene is treated with diborane, it will undergo hydroboration to form the alkyl boranes. Then this alkyl borane is treated with hydrogen peroxide and it will oxidized in alkaline solution to form the final product, that is the alcohol. So let us consider these reactions. In first stage of hydroboration, addition of borane to carbon-carbon double bond take place, in which hydrogen from borane that will get attached with one carbon and boron to another carbon to form the ethyl borane, which is mono alkyl boranes. In the second stage, the second molecule of alkene that is added to ethyl boranes and it will form diethyl boranes. Then in the third stage, the third molecule of alkene that is added to diethyl borane and finally triethyl borane will get formed. So on the cost of borane, 3 alkene molecule is added to it, and finally the trialkyl borane that will undergo reaction with hydrogen peroxide in the presence of alkaline solution and it will get converted into ethyl alcohol. In this reaction, the alkyl borane is not isolated, but it can readily oxidized in the same vessel, in which boron part that is replaced by the OH minus group to get the final product, that is the alcohol. So let us see the orientation of hydroborations. In case of hydroboration oxidation, the reaction is highly radioselective and the alcohol obtained that is in accordance with the anti-Marconi addition of water to alkenes. So let us consider two reactions. In first reaction, propene that will undergo direct hydration in the presence of acids and true propanol will get formed. In this case, the product formed that is accordance with the Marconi-Kupf rule, and in the second case, propene that is subjected to hydroboration oxidation. The first step that is the hydroboration and second step that is the oxidations. In this case, one propanol will get formed and the product formed in this case that is in accordance with the anti-Marconi-Kupf rules. So let us consider one example. In this case, 3,3-dimethyl 1-butene that is subjected to hydroboration oxidation and the final product that is the 3,3-dimethyl 1-butanol will get formed. So this product formed accordance with the anti-Marconi-Kupf rule. In this reaction, it may be noted that due to anti-Marconi-Kupf orientation, only primary and secondary alcohol can be obtained by this method. So let us consider the mechanism of hydroboration oxidation. Even thought the overall sequence of hydroboration oxidation of alkene appear to go against the Marconi-Kupf rule. Yet fundamentally this reaction involves the electrophilic addition to carbon-carbon double bond. So it will comprise of two steps. The first one is the hydroborations and the second one, that is the oxidation of alkyl borane. So let us consider the first step, that is the hydroboration. So as already stated, that the diborane that will behave as and dissociate into boron trihydride, and this boron trihydride got only 6 electron in its outermost energy level, so it is electron deficient and acidic in nature, and it will act as electrophile. So this electrophilic boron of boranes seek out the pi electron of carbon-carbon double bond, and this pi bond, it will shift toward this side, and boron of diborane that will get attached to this carbon. So first of all, this intermediate compound that will get formed. The attachment of boron to less substituted carbon of double bond can be justified in terms. In case of this intermediate, the less substituted carbon is less crowded and can be more easily attacked by the bulky boron group. The attachment of boron to less substituted carbon make more substituted carbon develop a partial positive charge. This carbon is better able to accommodate the positive charge since it carrying electron releasing group. So these are the two factors which can favor the formation of this intermediate product. And finally, there is a bond formation between this carbon and hydrogens, and in the next step this bond can break out. For this step it will repeat 2 more times to get the trialkyl boranes. Then the next step, that is the oxidation of alkyl boranes. The mechanism of oxidation of alkyl boranes by alkaline hydrogen peroxide involves nucleophilic attack of hydroperoxide ions. So in the first step, the hydroperoxide that will get generate out. So this hydroperoxide, now it will attack on trialkyl borane that is formed in the previous step. So it will attack on the electron deficient borons. So first of all, this intermediate product will get formed, then it will undergo rearrangement. It can lose OH minus ions, and this alkyl group, it will shifted toward this oxygen. So first of all, this mono alkoxy dialkyl borane will get formed. Now the first step, that is going to repeat again. The hydroperoxide ion that is added to this mono alkoxy dialkyl borane, and it can lead to the formation of dialkoxy mono alkyl boranes. Then this step that is going to again repeat. The hydroperoxide ion that is added to this dialkyl monoalkyl boranes, then trialkoxy borane that will get formed, and finally it is treated with sodium hydroxide, and the final product alcohol that will get formed. So in this case, 3 alcohol molecule that will get generate out on the account of 1 molecule of diboranes. Next reaction is oxymercuration and demercuration of alkene. Alkene, when treated with mercuric acetate in a water in the presence of tetrahydrofuran solvent, first of all alkene form hydroxymercurial compound. Then this mercury compound is reduced by sodium borohydride to yield the final product, that is alcohol. So it will also comprises of two parts. First one is the oxymercuration, in which mercuric acetate that is added to alkenes, and this intermediate hydroxymercurial compound that will get formed. Then in the second step, that is the demercuration, the hydroxymercurial compound formed in first step that is treated with sodium borohydride at room temperature, and the final product alcohol that will get formed. This reaction will occur simultaneously, and the yield of alcohol that is more than 90% has obtains. Oxymercuration and demercuration is highly regifractive, and the alcohol formed in this reaction that is in accordance with the Marconi Cuff rules. The overall reaction of oxymercuration demercuration is summed up as follows. It will comprise of two steps. The first one that is the oxymercuration, and second one that is the demercuration, and the final product that is the alcohol will get formed. In this case, the product formed that is according to the Marconi Cuff rule. So let us consider examples. In first case, 1 pentene that is subjected to oxymercuration. First of all, this hydroxymercurial compound will get formed. Then it will subjected to demercuration, and it is reduced by sodium borohydride to get the 2 pentanols. Similarly, 2-methyl 1-butene that is subjected to oxymercurations. First of all, this intermediate hydroxymercurial compound will get formed. Then it is subjected to demercuration with sodium borohydride, and the final product that is 2-methyl 2-butanol will get formed. So it is very much clear from these examples the product formed that is in accordance with the Marconi Cuff rule. The like direct hydration of alkene, the alcohol formed in this reaction and the product formed that is accordance with the Marconi Cuff rule, and it has been observed that the primary alcohol except ethanol cannot be prepared by this method. Let us consider the mechanism of oxymercuration and demercuration. It will comprise of two steps. The step number 1, that is the oxymercuration. In this step, the electrophile, that is the mercury species, it will attack on the less substituted carbon of the alkenes, and same time the carbon which carrying the greater number of hydrogen, which will take part in the formation of bridge carbocations. So first of all, this mercury bridge carbocation will get formed. Then this intermediate carbocation, it is immediately attacked by the nucleophilic solvent, that is the water, and this bond can break out to yield the intermediate product, that is the hydroxy mercurial compound. So it is oxymercuration step. Then second step, that is demercuration. In this case, hydroxy mercurial compound undergo demercuration on reduction with sodium borohydride to get the final product, that is the alcohol. This mechanism is supported by the following fact. It can justify why orientation of addition corresponds to the Marconi-Kupf rule, since mercury get attached to carbon carrying greater number of hydrogen, while OH group goes to carbon having lesser number of hydrogens. Second is if it also explains the absence of rearrangement taking place during the reaction, since no open carbon carbocation intermediate involved in this mechanism and no rearrangement will occur. So it is all about the oxymercuration and demercuration of alkene. The second is the addition of carbene. In this case, alkene undergo addition reaction with carbene both in singlet and triplet form to form the cyclopropane derivative. The reaction is also known as cycloaddition reaction because a ring is generated as a result of this addition of carbene in the reaction. So let us consider in this case the diazomethanes or carbene that is added to two butenes in the presence of light. So this 1,2 dimethyl cyclopropanes that will get formed. So this is the addition of the carbenes and it will lead to the formation of cyclic compounds. Addition of free radical to alkenes. It has been already discussed in the previous reaction that the anti-Marconi-Kupf addition of hydrogen bromide to alkene take place in the presence of peroxide through free radical mechanism. So let us consider the addition of carbon tetrachloride to an alkene in the presence of peroxide, and in this case the product form that is in accordance with the anti-Marconi-Kupf rule. So let us discuss its mechanism. In the step number 1, the peroxide that will undergo homolysis and the peroxide free radical that will get generated out, and this step will occur in the presence of light. Then in the second step, now this bond can break homolytically and each electron that will be shared by both the atoms. So now there is a bond formation between peroxide free radical and this chlorine free radical. So this will get formed. And this free radical will get generated out. Now this bond can break homolytically and each electron that will be shared by both the carbon atom. So there is a bond formation between this free radical and this carbon, and this intermediate compound will get formed having odd electron on this carbon. Then in the last step, the carbon tetrachloride, this bond can break homolytically, each electron that will be shared by both the atoms. Now there is a bond formation between this chlorine free radicals and this carbon, which will having the odd electrons, and this final product that will get formed in accordance with the anti-Marconi-Kupf rule. So it is all about the addition of free radical